What if this person you have in your heart was a sign from Allah? What if it wasn't just an attraction, but a divine response that you're ignoring or misinterpreting? How many times have you asked Allah, "Show me if this is the right person"? The heart can be confused, emotions misleading, but Allah, He is never wrong. He doesn't need to send you a dream to speak to you. Sometimes His signs are there, in the peace you feel, in the doors that open or close, in the person themselves. In this video, we will explore the signs that this person could be your soulmate, not according to trends, but in light of Allah's principles. This is not a magic checklist. It's a spiritual mirror. Stay until the end, because what you're about to discover could change not only the way you view this relationship, but also the way you ask Allah for guidance. Are you ready? Then, listen to your heart, and above all, listen to Allah's signs. 1. The call of the heart. It's not just a feeling, it's divine guidance. Perhaps you encountered it at a time when you weren't even looking. A furtive glance, a respectful word, or perhaps a simple presence that said nothing, but changed everything. And since that day, your heart has spoken. But it's not a cry of passion. It's a calm, discreet call, almost sacred. It's not carnal attraction. It's not what they show on social media. It's that heavy silence when you hear their name. That inexplicable thrill when you think of a future you never planned, but that your soul recognizes. There are people you notice, and there are those your heart recognizes even before you understand them. And in this inner surge, you must ask yourself a powerful question. Is this heart you feel guided by Allah or only by you? You see, in our tradition, the heart is not just an emotional organ. It is a center of perception, a place where the light of Allah descends when the intention is pure. This is why some emotions weigh more than others, because they don't come from you. They come to you. And sometimes these emotions are responses. Some signs aren't loud. They don't require a flash of lightning or a miracle. They slip gently into your daily life. You feel a tranquility, a sakinah, a gentle, silent peace that doesn't require external validation. And yet, no one understands. They tell you you're idealizing. They tell you it's attachment. But you know it's not the same. You know your heart has never felt this way. And that's where spiritual discernment comes in. Because the question isn't, do I feel something for this person? But rather, does this feeling lead me to Allah? Do you want a real sign? Observe what this person awakens in you. Do they inspire you to make dua with more sincerity? Do you feel the need to become a better person? Does your modesty become more important since you've been thinking about them? Does your supplication become more present, more sincere, more aligned, since this person has existed in your life, even silently? Then perhaps you don't just love a person, you are responding to divine guidance. But be careful. The heart is not infallible. It is tender. It is vulnerable. And sometimes it confuses obsession with inspiration. That's why it's not enough to feel. You have to observe. Is what I feel stable, or is it a flash in the pan? Is my heart becoming more serene or more confused? Does this thought push me to illicit acts or to noble patience? There are attractions that consume your time, and there are connections that even time cannot erase. There are faces that come and go, and there are names that your soul silently repeats in your supplications, without anyone knowing. When Allah wants to direct you towards someone, He doesn't yell at you. He soothes you. He places synchronicities, alignments, intuitions, and it's not necessarily spectacular, but it's profoundly consistent. So the real question is, what if this person isn't a distraction? but a reminder. A reminder that you deserve a love aligned with your faith. A reminder that what you feel is sacred if it's channeled. It's possible that you love someone with dignity without ever having touched them. It's possible that you feel sincerity without even having exchanged an intimate word. It's possible that it's a sign and that you're missing it out of fear, haste, or forgetting what a love rooted in faith means. So before running away from what your heart feels, ask Allah if He's speaking to you through this silence. Ask Him if this feeling is a distraction or a direction, and above all, don't take lightly what leads you to reconnect with Him. For the heart guided by the light of Allah never errs. It recognizes what is done for it, even if others see nothing. 2. Istikhara isn't magic, it's a compass. Do you think that if you pray istikhara, you'll wake up with a specific dream, a face, a name, a light? That's what you may have been led to believe. But the truth is that istikhara has never been a magic wand. It's a compass, a tool for spiritual connection, a way of saying to Allah, Ya Rab, my eyes see what I want, but you see what is good for me. When you pray istikhara, you're not asking Allah to bend reality to your desire. You're asking Him to detach you from what could harm you, even if you hold on to it. You're asking Him to bring you closer to what is good, even if you don't see it yet. And this intention is one of the most powerful you can make as a believer. But then, how do you know if it worked? Here's the truth that few dare to speak. Istikhara doesn't guarantee a visible answer. Sometimes, Allah doesn't show you anything in your dreams. He doesn't give you a mystical thrill. He doesn't make clear signs appear. And yet, He acts silently, through events, through feelings, through intuitions that only you can recognize. The first real effect of sincere istikhara is inner peace. A peace without logic, without explanation, without strategy. You don't know why, but you feel you can move forward. Or on the contrary, that you must stop. You can be attached to someone with all your might. But after istikhara, you feel a distance, a retreat, a strange calm. And it's not you who has changed. It's Allah who has regained control of your heart. And sometimes the signs are more painful. You perform istikhara and suddenly conflicts arise. Hurtful words, inconsistent behavior, blockages, families at odds. And you ask yourself, is it Shaitan who's complicating things? But maybe it's not Shaitan. Maybe it's the answer you refused to accept. Because sometimes Allah breaks a relationship that your attachment wants to preserve, so that your destiny remains intact. He closes doors that you try to open with emotion. And at that moment, the real question isn't, is it working? But rather, did I really ask Allah for guidance? Or was I waiting for Him to confirm what I already wanted? Istikhara is also accepting that your inner yes can receive a heavenly no. It's having the humility to say, even if this person attracts me, if they're not good for my faith, my stability, my future, keep me away from them. And believe me, this dua is one of the bravest you can make. It requires more faith than any relationship, because it says to Allah, I choose your wisdom over my emotion. And when everything becomes fluid, when things align without manipulation, when hearts remain respectful, when steps are taken with modesty, when families cooperate without forcing, you feel that something is happening. It's not magic, it's harmonious, it's not euphoric, it's stable. And this stability, my brother, my sister, is one of the greatest signs that Allah can offer you. Too many people use istikhara as a last card, like a joker when they've already made up their minds. But that's not it. Istikhara is a gesture of submission, an act of lucidity, a step back to let Allah walk in front. If you pray this prayer with sincerity, with detachment, with trust, you can be sure that the path that opens up next is the one your soul was meant to take, even if your heart hasn't yet understood. Take your time. Pray with clarity. Ask without demanding. And above all, accept, even if it's not what you hoped for. For Allah never abandons you to your choice without reason, but He always elevates you to His choice with wisdom. 3. They bring you closer to Allah, not just to themselves. Do you want to know if this is the right person? Start by observing what their presence does to your faith. The One isn't the one who makes you laugh until you forget to pray. It's not the one who dazzles you with their beauty but makes you neglect your modesty. The One isn't the one who doesn't steal your heart, but instead entrusts it to Allah. Do you want signs? Stop looking for sensations. Look for transformations. If this person helps you get up for Fajr, even with a simple, respectful reminder, if they wait for what's lawful instead of accelerating toward desire, if they lower their gaze even when they could gaze at you longer, if they speak to you with adab, without ever crossing the boundaries of respect, then perhaps it's a bond written with celestial ink. But if you must constantly remind them of what's right, if you must impose the boundaries Islam has already set, if you feel weaker in your faith since they entered your life, you haven't found love. You've strayed from your essence. Ask yourself the real questions. Does they support me in my faith? Or do I have to hide in order to practice it? Are we talking about a lawful future, or just living in the moment over and over again? Is there clarity in his intention, or only vagueness under the pretext of taking his time? Are our spiritual goals aligned, or do our temporary desires take over? Because true love doesn't make you lose your modesty. It protects it. True love doesn't tear you away from Allah. It pushes you towards Him. You see, some people come to you like trials disguised as promises. They give you attention, sweet words, I'm thinking of you, I miss you. But they never think about your akhirah. They never talk about halal, stability, or peace. They want to hold your hand in this world, but abandon you when it comes to eternity. And you cling, you blind yourself, you forgive again. You believe that one day he or she will change. But time doesn't transform what isn't built with the fear of Allah. Do you want a sign that this isn't the right one? Look at yourself. Before him, her, you prayed. You covered yourself. You controlled yourself. You had principles. Today, you hide conversations. You delay prayer. You move toward the illicit, slowly, without even realizing it. That's not love, it's an escape. And Allah created you for better than that. But there are also those who arrive with nobility. They may not be perfect. They don't know all the rules, but they walk with sincerity. They ask questions about what is halal. They want to understand how to build a relationship that doesn't make you lose your soul. They don't talk much to you, but when they do, it's clear, structured, respectful, and you feel heard. You feel protected. You feel seen, not consumed. This kind of connection doesn't consume you. It builds you. So here's the blunt truth. The right person isn't looking to be in your life. They're looking to enter it the right way. And that's not just a promise. It's proof. If you want to build a meaningful love, look for someone who talks to you about nikah, not flirting, sees you as an amana, not a distraction, respects your silences, not just your beauty, creates stability, not temporary emotions, helps you walk toward Allah even without big words. You don't need a one-night stand. You need a partner for eternity. So the next time you feel something, ask yourself this, bluntly, is he or she helping me build my place in paradise? Or am I slowly losing myself here? 4.
The right time, not just the right person. You may meet someone and feel something obvious. You see modesty in their gestures, respect in their words, faith in their plans, and your heart says, this is him. This is her. It's now. But here's what your heart doesn't always know. Sometimes you've indeed met the right person, but not at the right time. And in those moments, everything becomes confusing. You pray, you feel, you hope, but obstacles pile up. The timing is shaky, families hesitate, the means are lacking, and you ask yourself, why, Ya Allah? Why show us someone who seems so righteous, only to then separate us? The answer may be a single sentence, whispered by divine wisdom. I'm not saying no to you. I tell you, not yet. Marriage is not a destination to reach. It's a responsibility to bear. And Allah, in His Rahmah, does not let you carry this burden with a weak back or a damaged heart. You see, you can love someone deeply. But if you yourself are still struggling with your stability, with your emotions, with your relationship with yourself, how can you offer another pure love, mature love, stable love? Allah prepares you. He shapes your character. He works on your silence. He refines your patience. He teaches you to forgive, to assert yourself, to respect without crushing yourself, to love without forgetting yourself. And sometimes, this preparation involves separation, not as a punishment, but as a maturation. You may think you're ready, but Allah knows the storms you haven't yet faced. He knows the wounds you hide behind your smile. He sees the insecurities you disguise with Insha'Allah. He hears your supplications, but He also reads what you don't say. And when He delays union, it may be because He wants you to be ready to love wisely, not with lack. Do you want to build a blessed marriage? Then accept that the right time isn't the one your calendar suggests. It's the one your heart will carry with confidence, not anxiety. You can't force Allah's hand. You can't pull the threads of destiny hoping they'll unravel more quickly. You can only work on yourself, cultivate your faith, refine your character, and say to Him, Ya Rab, I trust you, even when everything seems unclear. And sometimes, Allah pushes away someone you thought was perfect, not because they didn't love you, not because you weren't good enough, but because, in truth, it wasn't the right chapter in your life to write that story yet. And this silence, this emptiness, this distance, it's not a failure. It's an invitation to grow. The right time isn't when you're impatient. It's when you're ready. Ready to build, to serve, to protect, to sacrifice, to guide, to be guided. And sometimes to reach that state, you have to wait. But waiting with Allah is never a waste of time. It's an incubation. It's in this waiting that your heart learns steadfastness, that your soul discovers the quiet strength of tawakkul, and that your gaze becomes pure enough to recognize not only the right person, but also the exact moment when Allah finally says to you, go. Remember this, good love doesn't rush. It grows slowly, like a blessed seed. It doesn't rush you. It lifts you up, and it arrives when your heart is no longer running, but walking with faith. Do not doubt divine timing, for even what seems late always arrives with heavenly precision. 5. When everything falls into place without you forcing it, imagine yourself in that silent moment. You haven't said anything to anyone. You haven't sent any messages, just duas in the secrecy of the night. Words that only you hear, whispered between the beats of a tired but believing heart. You haven't shouted your need. You haven't begged people. You simply confided to Allah what your soul longs for. And then something begins. Not a grand scene, not an upheaval. Just a door opening, a calm conversation, a presence that doesn't invade, but soothes. They arrive quietly, not to impress, not to seduce, but with intention, with respect. And from the very beginning, nothing needs to be hidden. Their words are simple but true. Their values are similar to yours. Modesty, loyalty, a sense of halal, family, patience. No impassioned promises, no ambiguous games, only actions that speak, silences that reassure, plans that align. And you notice something strange. You don't feel that burning impatience or that fear of losing. Rather, you feel a peace that surprises you. You didn't have to run. You didn't have to force discussions, to invent excuses to stay in touch. You didn't have to convince those around you that it's not what it seems. Everything comes naturally, and things develop without your manipulation. Families speak to each other with respect. The intentions are clear. The stages follow one another smoothly. Even the small obstacles don't seem like walls. They become bridges. And in each step, you feel an invisible hand arranging, guiding, facilitating. It's as if Allah is saying, "This is it. This is what I had in store for you. And now that you've learned to trust me, see how I arrange everything wisely." There's no rush in this kind of story. There's no panicky fear of losing the other. Because what Allah aligns with doesn't depend on your stress, but on your patience. He or she doesn't say, "I love you," too quickly, but offers you something rarer: stability, clarity, dignity. And you understand finally that it's possible to love without betraying yourself. Before, you thought love was chaos, butterflies, sleepless nights. But today you feel something else, something deeper, something more true. No adrenaline, but sakinah. No doubts, but constancy. And you say to yourself, if this is what love is, then I understand why Allah made me wait. This kind of alignment doesn't come from luck. It's not a beautiful coincidence. It is Allah who, in His infinite knowledge, orchestrates what was meant to reach you all along. Because what you seek, He has always known. And what you deserve, He has always protected for you. You see, when you let Allah manage your heart, you no longer need to hold on. You no longer need to beg for someone's attention. You're no longer afraid that the story will slip through your fingers. Because you know that no authentic connection is built by force. It manifests itself in peace, in fluidity, in simplicity. And if you're experiencing something like this today, know that it's not just a relationship. It's an answer. An answer to all those nights when you thought no one heard you. An answer to those tears you wiped away alone. An answer to that heart you protected even when it cried out in loneliness. That's what Allah orchestrates. He doesn't shout. He doesn't rush anything. He doesn't exhaust you. He gently delivers what your soul has always been waiting for. It's not about whether this person pleases you, but whether they are a mercy sent by Allah, if they bring you closer to Him, if they grow your faith, if in your heart there is more peace than passion. You can love sincerely and still not be made for this person, and you can doubt, while Allah, He confirms you. So make dua with sincerity, seek istikhara with confidence, and look beyond what your eyes can see. If this message spoke to you, share this video with someone who is asking the same questions. Tell me in the comments, what has been, for you, the greatest sign from Allah in a relationship? Subscribe for more sincere, profound reminders rooted in our faith. Because before finding the right person, you must first become the person Allah is preparing for a blessed relationship. And never forget, what you seek with your heart, seek with your faith. Amen.